going on, people? It's your grandfather in his Sunday best. I just got back from church, and I just want to tell you what a glorious day I had. I just want to share some info with you. I'm not going to get on nothing too strong. I'm going to just talk about, a few things, talk about me and, what's going on with me and where I'm going, and checking up on you. Just want to make sure you're okay, and, you got a little smile on your face, and, and everything's going well. I went to church today, and I guess I heard a word. I heard a word from the Lord, and in that word, they said some things today. They said some things. It's talking about, is there a God? And, in the direction of the world as far as God is concerned. And, I said I wasn't going to hit you with religious topics too quick. But being as it's Sunday today, I feel like it's the day to talk about the Lord. So, with that being said, let me say this. We was talking about, is there, well, basically, really, we know there's a God, but does the world feel like there's a God? And what direction the world is trying to take people in as far as acknowledging his presence? I told you before, or I meant to tell you before, so I'll tell you now, if I hadn't, that God doesn't force you to realize to acknowledge him. God doesn't, people always talk about, they always try to force their religion on you. Most Christians really don't try to force their religion on you. They just really let people be, and which is not really part of, the doctrine. Really, we are supposed to be gathering up people, but, people are so busy trying to act like, they're being forced to, to acknowledge his presence that, most Christians tend to back away from, trying to even share the goodness of God, like they, people start accusing them of keeping it to themselves. But what I want to tell you is that God doesn't force himself on you. God allows you to come to him. Out of everything that's being forced on you, that's probably the one thing that isn't being truly forced on you, because he doesn't want to receive you like that. He wants you to come on your own and give of yourself freely, and he allows you that. A lot of people probably don't really realize that, so I think, this was a good time to explain that you can come to God how you are. You don't have to feel like, you have to come to him in any kind of certain way. You don't have to wear suits to go see God. A lot of times I have a tendency to dress down when I go to church, just so others can know you don't have to come to God all dressed up and in your Sunday best, as they say. I rarely wear a tie, and I got wait a minute, let me show you what I got. I mean, I'm not bragging or nothing. I'm just, it's just a fact. You don't have to wear ties. This is all ties. This is a bunch of ties that I rarely wear because I'm not a tie man. I like my neck free. I like to breathe. I like, I don't like being constrained. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to say to you is that you don't really have to overthink this thing, basically. He give you direction. You know what I'm saying? Give you direction. You are the author of how you travel in that direction. You understand what I'm saying? You can make decisions along the way. He'll give you guidance, but he doesn't impose upon you. You understand what I'm saying? But I want you to know something. It's about choices. It's about choices in this world. And truly, the only one to forgive you of just your choices you make when you may make the wrong decision is God. Man will not forgive you as easily as God will, because all you have to do is ask for forgiveness. Man, he got a tendency, you don't murder nobody. Don't jaywalk too much. Don't do too much outside the lines of the law, and man won't forgive you. You understand what I'm saying? You can murder somebody. I'm not encouraging you to go out there and kill nobody. I'm just saying you can murder somebody and God will forgive you. You understand what I'm saying? If you're truly remorseful for what you've done. Man won't forgive you. People can barely get away with, being insane in this country. You know what I'm saying? But hey, listen, God understands. So I'm going here, I'm rambling because that's what I do. And this is, I'm on a rambling stage right now, and I'm just generalizing and, and kind of toss some things out at you that you might not have you might have misunderstand, and the way the world presents God to people, have a tendency to alienate people. You know what I'm saying? It's not really the houses of worship. It's what the influence of media, the news. You know what I'm saying? People who don't believe in God, or 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 or, or have an issue with the concept of God, try to toss at you to make to alter your thinking. Because we're gonna get into altered thinking and how people try to that it's so much influence on the way that you think going on that you don't even really realize that you're being influenced, to think a certain way. But we're gonna get into that another time. I'm gonna stick to this thing right here. I'm trying to keep this simple for you, because I don't want you to think that it's that complicated. I'm making it light. We're gonna keep it light, because I'm gonna just say God is good, and He really doesn't hold you to the place that you might believe that He holds you to. He understands that you are flawed, that you will make mistakes. Where man really doesn't. Man doesn't realize that you make mistakes. And listen, let me say something. You have to forgive, in order for you to go on. It's not necessarily for the other person, it's for you. You know what I'm saying? I bring that up because a lot of times you see these things where people say, well, how could you forgive them? That's not for them. Forgiving people is for you so you can move forward, you know what I'm saying, and go on with your life. And holding on to things, and I'm going to go to God on this, holding things hinder you from receiving Him freely. Now, you may have been through some things. You may have, may suffer some injustices, some losses, you know what I'm saying, some pain, you know what I'm saying. But that's the world. Listen, God gave you free will. He can't take it back. You understand what I'm saying? He can't take it back when people do wrong. He can't, like, all of a sudden jump in and say, oh, he did something wrong, I'm taking free will back. He gave you free will and said, hey, listen, I'm allow y'all. We are gods on this earth. So we in charge of this thing. And He can't jump in. You really don't realize how many times God has intervened when He said He wouldn't. But He can't intervene to the level you might expect Him to, because He said He wouldn't. And He can't, and He's not a liar, so he can't. You understand? And I'm just tossing this stuff out because I don't want it to be complicated. I don't want it to be super biblical for you. I want it to be something you could identify with. So we're gonna start touching stuff on a deeper level as we go along, and that's all issues. That's worldly issues. That's because the world is really, truly the trouble. And that's what people don't get. You know what I'm saying? Here's a theory. Here's a thought. You never lose nothing by believing in Him. You may lose something by not believing in Him. It's a choice. You got choices, and He is the author of choice, because He doesn't obligate you to anything. You understand? So when people be like, they forcing me. No. And most Christians really don't judge people. They really just say, listen, hey, that's the way of the world. We know these things are going to occur, so we really don't pass judgment on it. We may have concerns about it. We judge it to the point where it's going to affect us. You understand? It's not really about, I pray the best for everybody. I want everybody to get in heaven. I want the best for everyone. I pray your well-being constantly, because I love you. And that's just a fact, and that's just a fact of life. I'm going to cut this off, because it can become a deep thing, and I'm not trying to take you deep. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to take you to a place where maybe you could just see something. You might have heard something that might click you to follow through on the road you need to take more. Hey, I wish you nothing but the best. Hey, I love you. Honestly, these are not words coming out of my mouth. I love everyone unconditionally. I might not like some of the things people do, but I love them unconditionally, without fear, reservation, or loving them. I don't love them to the point where I fear getting hurt. You understand what I'm saying? I love them ahead of time. And if you get hurt, I'm still love you. I just know that, hey, you're human. You made mistakes, So, with that being said, I say, once again, I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. God bless you all. Hey, listen. I'm a grandfather. You know, you can find me at this old man. You can find me at this old man knows Jack. This old man definitely knows Jack. He gonna shoot Jack at you, and that's a fact. So be looking for my page. This old man knows Jack. This old man. Have a good day. God bless. God loves you, and so do I.